of that emotional dysregulation.
Sure.
We are going to be reflexive, we're going to be automatic, and we're going to make very quick decisions, and those may be helpful in the immediate moment, but long term they often are not helpful, maybe even dumb.
Right. It could very well be that that you missed that therapeutic moment, and it won't be coming back anytime soon. Particularly if you use that approach more and more with anything that comes up that you have some issue with, then you kind of cut off the further exploration of it in lieu of getting out of the trouble moment you perceive, and doing it cut and dry. So there's not going to be much depth in the conversation over time.
And you could think of, there are all sorts of decisions that we make that are fraught with the possibility of affect dysregulation, that we can lose that self-reflective element, and so therefore we get into a bit of a pickle if we're not careful. When it comes to things like, and this applies to ethics, period.
Right.
All ethical guidelines are there for a reason. They're supposed to,
Right.
they're supposed to. In fact, one of the things that makes aspirational ethics is important is because sometimes if you outsource your ethics, then it makes it even easier to discard them.
Right. You may end up more trouble as a
right. You
result
could say,
of those kinds of
well, that's just what they wrote. That's what they want, as opposed to something that you begin to dance with. The act of bringing ethics into your bones is to turn ethics into morality.
Right.
It becomes an element of your moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person sitting across from you becomes someone with a heartbeat. And that can go back to erotic countertransference. It can often be difficult because if you suddenly feel an erotic connection, if you suddenly begin a level of attraction to the person across from you, you move to a place of splitting, and you lose their complexity. So part of what we have to navigate in the moment, and by the mere act of accepting the feelings that you have, then you can then dwell in complexity. And there's research to show this. There's research to show that, that when we're able to, when we have a conflict over something, it can get us in trouble. When we allow ourselves to be, and that's the acceptance piece of that 3-stage process.
Mm-hmm.
It can be tough for new therapists, or all of us, to accept the fact that we have sadistic trends, that we might want to hurt somebody in some form or fashion, that we may invite our own hurt in some ways, that we can have erotic feelings. This can be really difficult with, and I do some consultation work with therapists in the community, but this can be really difficult if you're working with adolescents, because I've had therapists talk to me about erotic countertransference with adolescents. So if it's a male working with an adolescent female, and they're like, what do I do? I'm not supposed to feel that.
Right.
I'm like, well, we have no control over what we feel. So, I think I was supposed to be incredibly wealthy and have a Lamborghini.
Right.
But, I woke up this morning and
a lot of things
it's not there.
Didn't happen.
So we're going to have to start where you're at. And the goal would be able to think about that.
Right.
But notice
right.
how it's dangerous. This is someone underage, and I'm having feelings in the presence with him.
Completely dangerous.
So how to be able to say, what's going on here? What's going on here for you and them, and to be able to slow it down. And it takes the danger, and it becomes something that, an area that you can begin to operate in.
Right.
To be able to say, okay, this is this, and then you can move in a different way.